The 1957 publication of the Arthur Frommer travel guide, Europe on $5 a Day, led the company to publish over 300 specific travel site guidebooks. Now the company is relaunching its brand after buying it back from Google last year. Pauline Frommer, travel expert and daughter of the guidebook founder, joins me with some travel and budget-savvy tips for 2014. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Pauline, for the early birds that are planning their spring and summer breaks already, what are this year's top travel destinations?
Well, destinations are like fine wines. They have good years and bad years. This year is going to be a particularly good year for Berlin. It's the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which means there are going to be spectacular celebrations, learned lectures, a really interesting time to be in Berlin. And Berlin is always a rich destination. It has more museums than almost any city except Paris, and it's not that expensive. Very affordable hotels in Berlin.
And if you could rattle through, there's a couple other places. One in
yes,
Mexico
okay.
and Bali, if you could tell us
We
some of those.
love Bali because the rupiah is 30% lower against the dollar, so your dollar's really going to stretch in Bali. And then there's the Mayan Riviera, actually the Riviera Nayarit, which is a beautiful stretch of sand right outside Puerto Vallarta. It's about to be destroyed, but right now when you go there, no crowds, lovely newly built resort hotels, and cute colonial villages.
See it while you can. Now, I know there's been a few mergers recently among airlines. How does that impact air travelers?
Badly. It impacts them badly. Airfares are rising 19% just in the last 2 years. So you have to be more strategic when you book travel. The most important thing to do, book at the right time. The cheap fares tend to be released about 6 weeks before travel. Book earlier than that, the airlines know they've got you. Book later than that, the same thing. Also, try and get a sale if you can. Sales tend to be announced on Mondays. They're matched by the other airlines on Tuesdays, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best days to book. Weekends are out because the airlines know everybody's booking. Then you have time off from work, so the airfares usually go through the roof. And finally, the best sales are those announced just on Twitter. That's because the airlines want to cut out the commissions they have to pay to the Expedia, Orbitses, and Travelocities of the world. They want you to go directly to their site, so they have these crazy 3-hour flash sales. If you can catch one of those, though, they can be really tremendous.
I've seen those. The key is catching those right in that little window.
Yeah.
What about cruises? I know we've heard a lot about outbreaks on cruise ships. How can travelers keep themselves safe during these on these cruises?
By being really paranoid. You need to use your knuckles if you're going into an elevator to push the buttons. You have to use those hand sanitizer stations constantly. You just really need to understand the way a virus is transmitted, which is from hand to nose and mouth. So keep your hands super clean, and you probably won't get sick. You'll probably be just fine. Most cruisers are. But when 300 people get sick at a time, it makes the news.
Absolutely. And now your dad, Arthur Frommer, the founder of the company that now you're running with him, correct? Sold it to Google, and then shortly afterwards,
Wiley
right?
sold. We had licensed the books to publishers. It crossed through many hands. For the last 15 years, it had been with Wiley. Wiley sold it with Google, and we reacquired it.
And you reacquired it. Why do you think that hard copy travel guides are still relevant in this age of popular travel websites that can be carried on your smartphone? Why have a book?
I don't think it's books versus the internet. I think it's journalism versus who knows what. Who knows who is posting these things on the internet? Our books are available on ebooks, in apps, and in hard copy books, but they're written by local journalists who live in the areas, who know all the traps, who have visited all the hotels. When you go on the web, if you get advice on a hotel, you're getting advice from somebody who's gone to exactly one hotel. And they may not know that somebody right down the road is a cheaper and better place, or you're getting advice from a marketer, because these opinion sites have gotten so powerful that hotels, restaurants, they're hiring teams of people to write fake reviews.
Well, we have a lot more on our website about this, and unfortunately we're out of time. So Pauline Frommer, thank you so much for talking with us. And I want to let folks know that you will be speaking tonight at Warwick's Books in La Jolla at 7:30 p.m. on the new launch and all the new tips.
Yes, I will.